Hello guys, Fo here, and I hope you are having a nice day. Today we're gonna talk about the most common mistakes healers do in Mythic Plus. Before we start, I wanna clear up some things. I'm a 19-year-old WoW player with over 6 years of healing experience, and I'm mostly focused on doing Mythic Plus content which I started right when this expansion got released. And I have learned a lot through my journey of bugging and pushing high keys. And now, I wanna share what I learned with you guys, and I hope you benefit from it. Enjoy! The first mistake the majority of healers do in Mythic Plus is focusing entirely on healing and not contributing to the DPS meters. As a healer, it's a must to keep your teammates alive, and at the same time, it's really important to help with DPSing so you can kill your enemies faster. I've watched a lot of videos when I started learning how to improve myself in Mythic Plus, and I saw a lot of pro healers always keeping up their dots and using their DPS spells more than healing, even in rough situations, because they know when their party members needs healing and when they don't, and we will jump to how to do that in a minute. As a Holy Paladin, for example, I don't have to worry about DPSing, because Blizzard made sure I get what I need in that part, and so do other healers. But not as strong as Holy Paladin, of course, but still. Druids got Convoke, which can be used to DPS instead of healing sometimes, and other classes are blessed with similar spells as well. I get it, it's not as strong as Paladin or Druid or Priest, but still, utilizing that part of your kit is essential to conquering high keys. The second mistake some healers do in Mythic Plus is not having a proper UI to help them track stuff much easier and faster. Having a good user interface can really help in elevating both your raiding and Mythic Plus experience to a higher level, and believe me, it's a game changer. This right here, for example, is my UI, and it helps me track everything I need, such as party cooldowns, next to my party frames, boss timers, how many combat resurrections are available, and auras that display really important information in the middle of my screen and all this kind of helpful stuff. And the best part is how easy it is to set up. There are tons of guides on making your own efficient UI, but if you don't want to bother, you can just download someone else's UI and import it into your game from wago.io. The add-ons that I'm using on my Paladin are Exhaustus Raid Tools to track combat resurrections and raid externals, Opie to make it easier for me to use consumables or toys and auras much faster, Voodoo for party frames, and right now I'm using Growl's party frame profile. I'll put a link in the description for it. Weak auras to track all kind of things that I want to track, such as dungeon alerts, buffs and debuffs, the cooldown on my spells, etc. Big wigs/little wigs for raids and dungeons timers. Details to know how big my dick is in dungeons when it comes to DPS and healing. FOI for other aesthetic touch-ups. Click so I can quickly select both the spell to cast and the target of the spell without requiring an extra click, which is really good. And finally, Omni CD, which helps me track all kind of party cooldowns next to my party frame, and that's how I know when my party have cooldowns for X trash pack or Y boss. The third mistake healers do in Mythic Plus is not communicating. As most of us know, communication is the key to success, and any professional player of any game will agree to this, since communicating with your team will lead you to victory. I noticed myself and others not talking to each other on both voice and outside voice when I first started doing Mythic Plus, since a lot of dungeons require a decent level of communication to be able to time them and finish them. For example, here on this clip, I wanted to save my offensive cooldowns for Hakar, and I have a druid in my party, so I used that as a big advantage for our survival. I managed to communicate with my party in time and individually called their personals, including myself. So it fits exactly with the Heart of the Wild timing, and voila! We managed to kill the Pride without anyone dying and proceeded to kill the boss really quick. You will find yourself forced to communicate on some fights and take that chance to actually improve your game communication skills. Start calling interrupts, CCs, routes, and cooldowns. You will eventually find yourself the kind of a leader and a healer everyone wants in their party. The fourth mistake healers do in Mythic Plus is not using their specs to the fullest. What I mean by this one is a healer doesn't have to heal people to save them sometimes. Don't get me wrong and hear me out. What I mean by this is sometimes your utility tools are much valuable than your healing tools, such as your stuns, knockbacks, interrupts, externals, etc. Let's say for example you are doing a plus 15 dungeon, and the ads are enraged/bolstered. And deep down inside you know healing is not the way to go here, so either switch to DPSing to kill it quickly or stun it if it's not immune to stuns. Knockbacks if you are a druid or a monk, A fear or a stun can save your whole team from a mage if it's a fortified and a volley went through on a high key. Take a second and think about the best plan your class can offer to that single moment, where it's all about survival. Now, last mistake healers do in Mythic Plus is not doing their homework. Doing your homework before stepping into a dungeon is really a must. If a healer knows what that X mob does and that Y spell do, he will find himself saving his party with his own ways. I suggest visiting this website that will be displayed in the middle of the screen so you can learn more about dungeons and what every trash bag does, so you know what your next move is when starting the fight. Now for the tips, there's not really much to say here, so I'm gonna tell you a few things you should consider from now on. First, record your runs. Recording your runs is a really important part if you want to improve your general gameplay in both PvP and PvE. I have started recording my early plus 10 runs when I was playing on my druid, and it's really beneficial. I have fixed pretty much all kind of mistakes that were holding me from moving forward. And I promise you, recording your runs and watching yourself failing and gaming will get you closer to the doors of professionalism. Second, don't let the rewards slow you down. What I mean by this one is some people in Mythic Plus community tend to blame healers because of their own mistakes, and it's really unfair and stupid. You find that DPS stepping on crap on the ground and taking constant damage, and when he dies he proceeds to blame the healer for doing less heals. He didn't even check the death log. Here is my code in Mythic Plus. If they don't move and die, don't you ever reply to them, because that will make you less motivated to play a healer in Mythic Plus. Also, one more thing, some tanks misuse their personal cooldowns and tend to do less self-healing and less damage mitigation, then blame the healer because that's what they are mostly good at, and put a lot of pressure on the healer to heal them more because they are not fully self-aware of the true benefits their class can give to both themselves and the party. Well, again guys, I really appreciate you visiting my YouTube channel and watching this video. I hope you're having a nice day, and please always remember to never back off when it comes to going big dick. It's what matters the most. See ya.